A loving mother, brutally murdered in her own home. A husband who seemed devastated, but wasn't telling the whole truth. And a town shocked by betrayal they never saw coming. This is the chilling story of Kelley Clayton. How a web of lies, greed, and a sinister plot turned a peaceful home into a crime scene. The most shocking part? The killer didn't act alone. Kelley Stage Clayton was the kind of woman people remembered for her smile, her kindness, her devotion to her children. Born and raised in Elmira, New York, Kelley was a former college athlete who played softball at SUNY Cortland. She eventually moved to the small town of Caton, New York, with her husband, Thomas Clayton, a former minor league hockey player. Together, they built what looked like a picture-perfect life. 2 children, a nice home, and deep roots in the community. But behind the closed doors of their marriage, something was deeply wrong. On the night of September 28, 2015, Kelley was home alone with her children. Thomas had gone out to play poker with friends in nearby Elmira. It was supposed to be a normal night. At around 12:30 a.m., Thomas called 911 in a panic. He claimed to have just returned home and found his wife dead on the kitchen floor. The call was frantic. He said Kelley had been beaten to death and that their daughter had witnessed the entire thing. Police arrived to a horrific scene. Kelley Clayton was lying in a pool of blood, bludgeoned multiple times in the head, a brutal personal attack. Their 7-year-old daughter was found terrified, huddled in the house. She told investigators something they would never forget. "Daddy's friend was here. Mommy was crying." That one chilling sentence cracked the case wide open. Initially, Thomas Clayton portrayed himself as a devastated husband, but police were immediately suspicious. For starters, there were no signs of forced entry. Nothing was stolen. It didn't look like a burglary gone wrong. Then came the financial angle. Investigators discovered Thomas had recently taken out a $1 million life insurance policy on Kelley, and not only that, he was having an affair. But Thomas had an alibi, poker night with friends, and they confirmed he was there. Still, something felt off. That's when investigators dug deeper and found a man named Michael Beard. Michael Beard was a former employee of Thomas. He had once worked for Thomas's business, and recently he was down on his luck, unemployed, struggling financially. What police found next was the bombshell that changed everything. Beard had confessed to the murder. But there was more. Beard didn't act alone. Thomas Clayton had hired him. Eventually, Beard admitted to beating Kelley to death with a maul handle, a weapon Thomas provided, and yes, their 7-year-old daughter saw it happen. In 2016, both men were charged with first-degree murder. Michael Beard went on trial first. The defense tried to argue that his confession was coerced, but between his DNA at the scene and witness statements, the jury didn't buy it. He was convicted and sentenced to life in prison without parole. Then came Thomas Clayton's trial, and it was explosive. The prosecution presented texts, phone calls, the financial motive, the affair, and the testimony of Michael Beard. But perhaps the most heartbreaking evidence came from the Claytons' young daughter. Her recorded statement was played in court. "Mommy was crying. Daddy's friend hurt her." The jury deliberated for less than 12 hours. In February 2017, Thomas Clayton was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. Kelley Clayton's murder shook the small town of Caton. A community lost a bright soul. 2 children lost their mother. and their father. Kelley's sister, Kim Bourgeois, stepped in to raise the children, making sure they knew who their mother was, a strong, loving, and devoted woman. Every year since her death, family and friends gather to honor Kelley's memory. Her story has been featured on Dateline NBC and other national true crime shows, not just because of the betrayal, but because of the resilience of those left behind. In the end, justice was served, but at an unbearable cost. A family destroyed, a mother taken far too soon, and a man who thought he could plan the perfect murder, brought down by the very people he thought would protect him. Thank you for watching. If you found this case as shocking as we did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell for more true crime documentaries every week. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious.